Just raise your right finger and solemnly swear, I don't care. Can do. Mean Girls 2024, which was directed by Samantha Jane and Toro Perez Jr. This is their feature directorial credit. They have done other projects, though, and check out the respective IMDb pages for the full listings of their work. This also was written by Tina Fey, who was in A Haunting in Venice, and you can check out my review of that to hear me gush over Tina Fey, who I've loved since SNL. She's bright, she's smart, she looks incredible still, is absolutely ageless, and at her peak is really funny, like in the 2004 version of Mean Girls. You know, the one that was so fetch. Even if you wanted to make fetch happen, it was going to happen. God damn it, Regina, you were wrong. Everybody remembers that. Whatever, I'm getting cheese fries. Get in, loser. We're going shopping. The Burn Book and all that stuff. Mom, can you pick me up? I'm scared. I don't care. I love it because I love the 2004 version of Mean Girls. Sure, it has its issues when some jokes don't hit. Oh boy, they really don't. But bright, breezy energy and still is something I can watch and quote and really enjoy. So this is a different spin on the Mean Girls formula. Bit of an expired formula, as it turns out. The theme is it's a musical. Okay, that's not the biggest strike because I enjoyed In the Heights and I've enjoyed other musicals, The Prom on Netflix, and even some musicals recently. I still need to check out Dix the Musical. Yes, that was an actual movie that came out that A24 released, and it really didn't get anything other than critical acclaim. I don't think it made a dime at the box office. Whole point is, musicals, when done right, and you have a breezy pace of them, and you just have a good story, and you have chemistry between all the characters, you can make it work. Guess what Mean Girls 2024 doesn't have? Any of that. It doesn't have any of that. If I'm not making it clear right here with my tone and the opening of this particular review, I went in with no expectations as far as seeing the trailer. I was like, okay, a musical, whatever. Maybe they'll have a good balance, and we'll have, a fresh, young cast bring the Mean Girls formula and story into the modern age, I guess, even though considering it only came out, back I think just under 20 years ago as of this recording. I don't know how much more modern needed to make it, but everybody's doing the TikTok stuff and filming, vertically and doing all this stuff where they're just like, oh, I can't believe it, OMG, LOL, la 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 la. Okay, let me just say right now and preface this before I really dive into anything in regards to the characters. I have nothing against any of the cast members. Seems like everybody had a fun time making this. I have nothing against the actors in particular. This is all about the characters. Anybody that wants to attack the actors for what roles they, were in this movie, no, you don't be doing that. Don't goddamn do that. Just make sure you attack the characters. And that can actually only work if the movie has any characters. This doesn't. This is a blatant carbon copy, not even a good carbon copy. Not even like, hey, let's look at what 2004's Mean Girls did, and then let's do the fucking opposite of that. Let's not make it funny. Let's just make it as unfunny as possible. Let's put Tim Meadows in it. Tim Meadows, who at his best was pretty funny. I mean, the ladies' man stuff, yeah, well, that is disgusting. Tim Meadows actually is pretty funny. SNL alumni. Lorne Michaels also helped produce this. You can tell because this is late era Lorne Michaels and has nothing to do with the good version of Lorne Michaels. Am I making it clear that I hated Mean Girls 2024? Absolutely loathed it. No expectations. The musical numbers were so bad. I had to take notes during the dull parts of this movie, i.e. pretty much 100% of this goddamn movie. I took notes because nobody was around me, not all around me, not like that Paramore song. Boy, Paramore, they would have livened up this movie. Haley Williams would absolutely liven up any performance. Giggity. Nevertheless, the cast, such as it is, and Gory Rice, who played Caddy or Katie, as it were, Regina George, Renee Rapp with 2 P's, and apparently she talked in interviews, she'd been struggling with some stuff, and she was happy she took on this role. So you know what? If it helps revive her career and revive her confidence in herself, good for her. There's also the character of Janice, and I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the actress's name. She was the girl that voiced Moana and Moana, that I still need to watch at some point. I've seen clips of it. You have Damien Hubbard. This is his feature credit, I guess, or their feature credit. I'm not sure about the proper pronouns. Apologies if I got that wrong. And then you have other characters. You have Karen, you have Gretchen Wieners, ah ha 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 ha. And then you have other cast members such as Tina Fey, Jenna Fisher, who by the way is going to be 51 years old. And you really could put Mean Girls and Mean Girls next to each other, and she wouldn't say they're the same picture, because nothing about this version of Mean Girls comes close to matching even the worst points of the 2004 classic. It feels weird to call a movie that's almost 20 years old a goddamn classic. Busy Phillips, you have Tina Fey in it, who again is just incredibly good looking and very witty, and I wish had been used better here, and I wonder how drunk she was when she wrote this. Tim Meadows, John Hamm, who has been funny and stuff, and Ashley Park, who has a name as a teacher as Madam. I will call her Madam any day of the week, but that's another story for another day. Ashley Park was in Joyride, a really hilarious comedy. Yeah, this isn't funny at all. None of the musical numbers are inspired. I mean, and this is about at least 15 minutes longer than the original. You don't need to make a goddamn movie longer when the original was a nice, tight, compact amount of time. I mean, take a look at what they did with The Little Mermaid when they decided to make it over 2 hours for the live action, or Aladdin, or various other movies. You don't need to make something more padded when you don't have enough stuff to even match the original runtime of the original. Terrible musical numbers. Terrible. Everybody, and it's not even that they can't sing. That's not even the issue. The singing voices are fine, all things considered. But they have certain lines in here. There are classic lines, but they're just throwaway lines like, we said this and everything. There's one line in regards to fetch. What is fetch? I don't know. Some, slang from an old movie. Juno, I think. Was everybody's family just held, like, in a closet somewhere, and they would only be freed when they were able to make this movie? Because everybody is just going through the goddamn motions here. Again, I'm sure they had fun with it, but putting a musical spin on something only works if you actually have energy to it, and none of the musical numbers are any good. I'm sorry, they are rotten from the very beginning to the very end to everything in between. They have the Santa scene. I'm sorry if you haven't seen the original Mean Girls. I would almost encourage you to watch the original Mean Girls and then watch this, because if you watch this one and you think this is good, you're going to be blown away by how great the 2004 version is. And I still need to get it on Blu-ray at some point. I might actually go watch it, on Paramount just to cleanse my palate and maybe get rid of the goddamn, just brain parasites that this movie basically gave me. Yeah, I hated this. I absolutely hated this. And I had no expectations going into it, but Jesus Christ. Basically, the plastics are back, and Katie's trying to fit in, and Katie ends up falling for the ex-boyfriend of Regina, who's the leader of the plastics. It's fantastic, and then all that, and the burn book, and all this stuff going on, and all the lines with the subtlety of bricks to the skull. Just take a sack of brick, or take a sack of door knobs. You got to provide your own knobs. Yeah, there were a lot of knobs as far as characters in this. I think we should have turned the knobs and kicked them out the goddamn door and replaced them with better characters. Am I making it clear that this movie is utterly loathsome, that I can't stand it, that I can't believe that Paramount thought this was a good idea? Paramount, MGM, whoever the fuck. I don't fucking care how many studios had their finger in this pie. This pie was goddamn left on the windowsill so long, it rotted, froze over, somehow got sent up into space, and went through explosive decompression. So, the one line that actually kind of made me chuckle is a line that was in the trailer. It's like, let me fix your eyebrows. Can I still have two? I admit that line was actually kind of funny, but maybe that's just because the bar was in the Earth's mantle, and that's where humor was. And like, well, okay, that sort of bubbled up to where I could almost see it. And hey, here's Aaron Eckhart and Hilary Swank and Delroy Lindo drilling to the center of the Earth, defying physics. The core somehow didn't annoy me as much as Mean Girls. Yeah, everything about this is just utterly terrible. There's not even much to spoil in this. Because if you've seen the 2004 Mean Girls, you know beat for beat where this is going. And again, the characters just don't click. They don't have any chemistry. It is like everybody was brought from a different plane of existence, likely a different solar system, a different time period. Maybe they were brought from the same solar system that Interstellar took place in. That's another movie that's dog shit. I'm rambling here. Let's just get to the goddamn spoilers. It's in theaters if you want to check it out. If you have zero expectations and hate yourself, you might enjoy it. And that's unfair, actually, because, again, this is about the characters, not the actors. And I know they want to have fun, but if you can't feature Ashley Park better, somebody who is bright and funny and a goddamn 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, as it were, as far as looks and humor, and strike that, reverse it, humor and looks. If you can't figure out a way to utilize her, and Tina Fey just seems like a background player, there's nothing wrong with featuring the younger cast and making them, the focal point, except there's all these characters and there's enough, personality among these characters for like one person. The plastics are terrible. No Lacey Chabert. No Amanda Seyfried or Seyfried, however the hell you say that. No Rachel McAdams. Yeah, you get a few other, fan service moments, but you really get a whole lot of bullshit. A lot of goddamn bullshit. So I'm going to get into spoilers. Like, the spoilers will take very long. But check it in theaters if you want. It'll probably be out on Paramount Plus here within the next month or two, because I cannot imagine that this movie is going to make a ton of money at the box office, because sure, people love the 2004 Mean Girls, and I get why some people don't like it. But God, you gotta admit that it's a lot more inspired than this schlock. This goddamn shit fest. Musical numbers are terrible. Everything about it was terrible. Whoever choreographed them needs help. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. Yeah. Whoever wrote the musical numbers really needs to just... They need to do something. You need to find something else to do, or you need to maybe be less lazy next time. Or maybe Paramount needs to figure out how to do a musical better. So, yeah, the pitch really seemed to be, let's look at the 2004 Mean Girls and do the exact opposite of what made that good. They tried a thing called Gruel, with great and cool. Yeah, Gruel. Please, sir, may I have less shit jokes? This is the type of movie that kills directorial careers before they start. And I'm not hoping that happens for Samantha and Arturo. I hope they can rise up from this, because Lord knows they can't sink any lower. But yeah, let me fix your eyebrows. Can I still have 2? The cheese fries, fetch, all that stuff. Just they didn't even get the Get In Losers thing. And I'm not saying they need to carbon copy all this stuff, but if you're going to have endless musical numbers that drag on, that are uninspired, with totally uninspiring characters, the very least you could do is get the old lines right. To say, hey, look, we did this stuff, but now we're bringing it over here. Well, all they're just bringing it over here to is to kick it in the goddamn trash compactor and hopefully hit the switch and squish it and get all the garbage juices into it, so maybe it's somehow less dirty than it turned out to be. It's October 3rd. I wish it was, October 3rd when this movie came out, because that was a simpler time when movies actually maybe seemed a little bit better. And this is coming from somebody, by the way, that just watched Origin. Origin, a terrific movie from Ava DuVernay about Isabel Wilkerson's tremendous book, Cast, and whatever the rest of the title is. But it's not a great start to movies so far this year. No expectations, and they weren't even met. Good job, Mean Girls 2024, you fucking god. Yeah, I'll raise my middle finger to the air and solemnly swear that I don't care. Like, you have the whole thing where, Katie wants to fit in, and then she ends up, pushing Janice and Damien away, but that doesn't even get, that doesn't even, have any tension to it like the first one did. And the first one, by no means a perfect movie, but had chemistry between everybody. Chemistry is the key. When you have that, what the fuck are we even doing here? Especially with a comedy musical. It had comedy in the sense that people were telling jokes, no one was fucking laughing, and musical numbers in the sense that people were dancing and singing and saying, please, can we get this over with? Yeah, uninspired, bland, completely forgettable. If I didn't write down notes, I would have forgotten some of the stuff going on. There was an opener, I think, Cautionary Tale, and whatever the fuck it was. Regina did a long one about leaving the burn book in there because she got, abused with all the stuff going on. With her getting a bunch of protein bars that were supposed to help her lose weight, but it's actually to help her gain weight because, fat shaming jokes are still funny. they attempted to be funny. They attempted to be funny, and I attempted to not rip what little hair I have out of my head. And one funny line from the Damien character, I once heard she put a D in the word orange. Yeah, I think this could be arranged to be, put up in front of a firing squad, perhaps. The gym sequence wasn't any good. The party scene at Katie's house. And the forced nature of everybody trying to act like they were trying to take Mean Girls 2024 over here. And they just kept it in the same spot where they actually tried to tunnel back into the other one and infect it. Kind of like, a parasite infects a caterpillar and then grows out of it. Or however that analogy works. Cheap, fake, and easy to break about the crown, when Katie won the, the Miss Spring Fling thing. Yeah, cheap, easy, or cheap, fake and easy to break. Actually does describe quite a bit of this movie, because this movie is cheap, this movie is fake, and it is definitely easy to break. Fetch, what is fetch? And, Jesus Christ, God. Eat shit, Mean Girls 2024. How utterly embarrassing. How utterly goddamn embarrassing this is. It's more of a rant than it actually is a review, because if you want any semblance of a plot, watch the 2004 one. You see it done better there. And even if that one had musical points to it, that wouldn't have been the worst thing. And taking the Mean Girls idea and giving it a musical spin could have worked if they actually gave a shit about making anything inspired, except they basically hacked this thing out. Good Burgers 2 got released directly to streaming. Now, granted, that movie was utter dog shit. I couldn't stand it, and it was a desecration of the original that was by no means perfect. And somehow they managed to put this movie in theaters where, yes, it will probably make money. It better make money, because otherwise they're going to have a flop on their hands. And quite frankly, this movie doesn't deserve to make money. Everybody deserves to go on and do bigger and better things. But Jesus Christ, the characters, the musical numbers, everything about it was just so goddamn bad. I couldn't believe that this movie was so utterly dog shit. At least everybody had a good time. I didn't, but I hope you did if you watched it. It gets an F. If this isn't at least in the top 10 worst movies of the year by the time this year ends, I am only on January 11th, and I already have 2 films that are in contention for worst of the year. Night Swim and this. This is matching Night Swim, a movie about a haunted pool, from Jason Blum and Blumhouse. F. He gets an F. It's fucking terrible. Agree, disagree what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.